In this tutorial you will learn how you can play attack animation clip and you can destroy any game object you want. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this topic. So let's get into that. So let's firstly create the attack animation clip. To create that, find attack sprites. So select all of them. As you can see, for ideal we made this pixel per unit 16. So let's do the same thing for this attack animation sprites. So select all of them by holding down shift and choose pixel per unit to 16 and go over to filter mode and select point of filter, click on apply. Now it's done. And select all of the sprite of attack. Select all of the sprite by holding down shift and just place it top of this player game object. It will create the animation. So we will go to move to this assets folder, and then we created there this animation folder. So let's get into that. Also we created a player underscore animation folder, so let's get into that as well. And let's call this animation clip to player underscore attack. Attack, and click on save. And now if I select the game object, move to this animation tab and select player underscore attack animation clip. As you can see, we playing our attack animation clip over again and again. So I don't want to loop this animation, so what I will do, go to project tab, then move to animation. Where we just save it our player animation clip. So let's go to that and select this. As you can see, player attack in the top right corner inspector, you can see loop time. So if you wanna loop, just check this. If you don't wanna loop, uncheck this. So I don't wanna loop, so that's why I uncheck this. And let's go to script by double clicking on it. Double clicking on it. So we need to play our attack animation clip, but when we should, I will check for this left mouse button, and I also have a enemy game object, attach a rigid body 2D component as well as box collider, then animated component which is playing the combat idle. And also I assigned this enemy game object as an enemy layer. In the top right corner inspector, you can see layer and says enemy. So click on that, click on add layer, and the name of name the layer you want. And select that game object one more time and assign that layer as you name it. Assign it just. So I already assigned, so I'm not gonna do that. So we need to if I select the player game object and select this animator tab, as you can see a new animation has been created. In added to our animator tab, it says player underscore attack. So we only want to go to this attack animation clip when we just standing. When we are running or jumping, in that situation I don't wanna play this attack animation clip, but I do wanna play this attack animation clip when we just standing or playing the idle animation clip. So we will choose a parameter and we will trigger that parameter, and if we trigger that parameter, we will play this player underscore attack animation clip. So in the left side parameter, click on this plus icon. Let's choose this time trigger. Let's call it attack. Attack, and we need to make transition from idle to our attack. And from attack back to idle, so right click on idle, make transition to attack and select this arrow, and we will untick this has exit time, also untick this, and let's set transition duration to 0. And we have to choose a condition in the bottom side. As you can see in inspector says condition which is list is empty, so we need to trigger this parameter. If I trigger this parameter, I want to play this attack animation clip. So let's choose that condition. So let's choose this attack. And I will go back to idle animation clip as well, make transition back to idle, and for select this arrow, I will untick this has exit time. I will leave it this has exit time because, and we will set this exit time to 1. Basically I want to play the whole animation of attack animation clip. Attack animation clip whole animation, and after that I want to go back to idle animation clip. So that's why I put exit time to 1, and let's choose transition duration to 0 in the scroll down to the bottom side, and I'm not gonna choose any condition for this. I want to go automatically when the attack animation has been played totally. Okay, I want to go that. Sorry, I'm just having the tea. Okay, so I don't, but we also need to go back to player run. Okay, if we pull playing the attack animation clip, and at that moment if we are running, so we should not play attack animation clip. Okay, we have to stop right there. Instead we should play the running animation clip if we moving. So what we will do, we will also make transition from attack to a run or jumping depending upon what a player is doing. So right click on attack and make transition back to this player run, as well as right click on attack and make transition to player jump. Okay, and select this arrow. So what we want, if we playing the attack animation clip, okay, and at that moment if we running, so we have to stop playing this attack animation clip. We should not play. Okay, so I will untick this as exit time, and I will set this transition duration to 0, but we have to choose condition in which condition we want to go. And we know if we are moving, we setting that movement parameter to 1, and by that movement we basically setting this run parameter to 1. Okay, so we will choose this condition. So and scroll to the bottom side and hit this plus icon. So if we are moving, we know this run parameter will be 1. We setting 1, and we know if we set this to 1, it will play the running animation clip of player. Okay, so we will choose this run parameter to some smaller number, something like 0.1, and we also need to go back to this jumping animation clip. Okay, if we playing attack animation clip, at that moment we press down space key, we will jump. So we have to stop playing this attack animation clip right away. Instead we need to play the jump animation clip. Okay, so select this arrow and we will untick this exit time. As soon as player is pressed down space key, we will play the jump animation clip instead of attack. Okay, so that's why, and let's choose this transition duration to 0. Scroll to the bottom side and let's choose this condition, which is jump. Okay, and we know if we set this jump parameter to true, it will play the jump animation clip. Okay, so that's why we have chosen this condition. Okay, I will close now. If I hit this play button and select the animator tab, sorry. So if I select this animator tab and this player game object, okay, let's select this player game object and this animator tab, and if I try to trigger this parameter, which is attack, as you can see in the left side parameter, the attack animation is playing. Okay, it's playing a whole animation, then it's playing idle, it's going back to idle, as you can see. Okay, so we have to set this parameter through our code. Okay, we need to set this parameter through our code. So let's open up our script by double clicking on it, and let's go to bottom side. Okay, in update function we will do, okay, so let's over here we will check. Okay, if input dot get mouse button down and makes this bracket, if you pass 0, 0 basically means the left mouse button. If you pass over here 1 basically means the right mouse button. So I will check for the left mouse button and makes these curly brackets. So what I want to do, I want to play that animation clip, which is that trigger. Okay, as you can see, we have the reference of this animator component already. Basically we need a get reference this animator. We created an empty field of animator, as you can see, and we drag it the animator right there. So basically we have this animator reference. By this animator component we can switch up the animation. Okay, we know, so we have to go over to this animator. Okay, so when we try to click left mouse button, what I want to do, I just want to go to that animator. Okay, and then we have to use this set trigger function. Okay, and in brackets we have to pass the id or the parameter name. We know in if we go to unity in the left side, as you can see attack, okay, you have to type the same name over there. Okay, so in quotation I will pass attack, attack, okay, and close that off with semicolon, control s to save your code. So when we press down left mouse button, we going to over to animator, then we setting basically we triggering that attack parameter. As you seen, if we trigger that parameter, it will play the attack animation clip as you seen. Okay, so control s on your keyboard to save your code, and when we goes to click left mouse button, okay, we playing that attack animation clip right away. And if we try to run, okay, the attack animation will not be played, it will be stopped right there. Instead it will play the running animation clip, okay, because we have chosen that condition. And if we just jumping, we will play the jump animation clip right away. Okay, if you have any question, you can comment that in the comment section, okay, regarding any question of this video or anything like that. You can just comment down below, okay, in comment section, and I will let you know. I will make a video on that as well. So just control s on your keyboard to save your code, and once it's done, okay, hit this play button in the top and try to press down left mouse button, okay, left mouse button. We firstly going to this animator component, and then we triggering this parameter. Okay, as you can see, when we press down left mouse button, clicking left mouse button, the animation attack animation just playing okay, and then it will playing ideal animation clip when we just standing. But when I press down a left mouse button at the same time, if we moving, as you can see, the animation of attack animation not played 100%, it just stopped right there. Instead it played running animation clip because we have chosen that condition. Okay, so I'm gonna unplay this, and what I want to do, I will create a attack point right over here. If I select this player game object and then move to this animation tab, select this player attack animation clip. So I want to create a basically I want to create a attack point, okay, from here, and I will create a circuit around that point. And if that circle collide with this enemy game object, or we will choose a some certain layer or game object, that means this enemy game object should take damage. Okay, basically I want to create a circle around. Okay, so basically we need to create a point first. Okay, so right click on player game object, then create an empty game object. Let's name this game object to attack point. Okay, attack point, attack point, and I will move this point over here, center of the sword, or basically the as you can see attack animation clip. And let's choose an icon for it as well. So go over to in the inspector, okay, top right, and choose any gizmo you like. So I'm gonna move this over here. So from this point I want to create a circle, and if that circle collide with this enemy game object, or we will choose a some certain game object, if that collide circle collide with that, then that game object should take damage or destroy. Okay, so if I select this player game object, as you can see n plus icon has become to this attack point. So what we need to do, select this player game object, go over to inspector, or click on overrides and click on apply all. Now it's gone. Okay, so it will change in the prefab as well. Okay, it does the thing. So select this play, let's open up our script by double clicking on it. You can create a separate script as well if you do want. So let's go to bottom, and let's create a function for that. Okay, so let's call it public. Public because I want to call this function something like over here through this animation tab. As you can see, we just have to go to left side, add event, just click on this add event, and we can choose that function. So that's why I'm just making that function public. Okay, so public void, let's call this function attack attack info or attack, you can call it anything like that, attack something like attack, make first bracket and some curly brackets. Okay, to draw the circle, what we need to do, we need to use this function, it's called gizmos. Okay, gizmos dot draw where sorry, not this, actually we have to use this, sorry, really sorry, physics 2d dot overlap circle. Okay, overlap circle, and this function over here, it will take the first thing, it will take the as you can see, it will take the point from where you want to create the circle, and the second thing, it will take the radius of that circle, so you need to specify the radius as well. Okay, and the third thing, it will take the layer mask, basically which layer you want to target, okay, or which game object you want to target shortly. So let's assign those variable first, and then we will come to this function. Okay, we will use it. So let's make a comment for it now. Let's go to top of our class, let's assign those variables. So let's go to down a little bit. So firstly, we need one thing, that is this attack point, as you can see. Okay, we need this attack point, basically means the position or the transform component of this attack point, we can see, which is responsible for position, rotation and scale. Okay, so let's create a public transform, which is our attack point, let's call it attack underscore point. Okay, and also we need to specify the radius. Okay, so let's create another field, make it public. Okay, so we can adjust through inspector, that is float, let's call it attack underscore radius. Okay, and by default I'm gonna give something like 1 unit, so 1 unit radius will be that circle. Okay, 1 unit. And the third thing, we need the layer mask, basically which game object we want to target. Okay, so also make this field public layer mask, and I will call this one to target layer, we have to name it. Okay, target underscore layer, and close that up with semicolon. Control S to save your code. Okay, and let's move to Unity now. So in our player script, okay, those field will be appear underneath our player script. Okay, so just wait, and select this player game object. In player game object, or in underneath, we would expect to see, as you can see, attack point which says none, which is empty. So what we will do, we will drag this attack point right there. Now we have the attack point. Okay, and we specified the radius, so I will leave it to 1, and this target layer which says nothing, so I will choose this enemy. So you can choose any game object, you can choose multiple layers if you want, so I just want to select this enemy only. Okay, so basically I want to target this game object, and make sure you added a collider to this game object as well, and you assigned this game object as an enemy. Okay, so if I select this game object, as you can see, I assigned that game object as a enemy layer. Okay, so just go to top right in the inspector. Okay, click on this, click on add layer, and then name the layer what you want. Go to that game object one more time, assign that layer what you name it. Okay, I already assigned, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so let's go to script one more time, and let's scroll to the bottom side, let's remove these two slashes. So as a first thing, we know we have the attack point, so let's pass attack point. So attack point dot position. Okay, comma, second thing, it will take the radius, so let's pass our attack radius right there. Okay, and the third thing, it will take the layer mask, basically which layer we want to target, so let's pass our target layer, and as a target layer we have chosen that enemy, so enemy game object will be checked for that circle. Okay, and this function over here can be true or false depending upon the circle is really colliding with that enemy game object or not. If that circle really collide with that enemy game object, so this function over here will be true, else this function will be false. Okay, so what I want to do, let's store the result into a collider 2d hit info. Okay, so make a collider 2d where, okay, and let's call it hit info or hit and set equal to this. So hit can be true or false depending upon that circle is really colliding with that enemy game object or not. Let's suppose colliding with that enemy game object, so this hit over here will be true. Okay, and the problem is that heat over here will be true. Okay, and we can extract info whatever we have collided with by going to this heat parameter. We can extract info like name of the game object, tag of the game object, anything we like want to access. Okay, so let's go to down and we will check. Okay, if heat is equals to true, or you can leave it like this, it also means true, so make some curly brackets. So basically the circle is really colliding with that enemy game object. So what we want to do, let's print out a message firstly if we really colliding with that game object or not. So we have to type debug.log for printing out message. Okay, so make this bracket, so we will move to this hit parameter or hit variable. Okay, then we will access that game object transform component, and then by that transform we will access the name of the game object as you can see, and close that off with semicolon, control S to save your code, and let's move to Unity. But the problem is that we cannot able to see our circle. Just wait for to compile, and just wait, we not gonna able to see the circle. Okay, so just wait a little bit. So when it's done compiling, check that. Okay, so as you can see, we're not able to see our circle. We made the circle but we're not able to see. To see or to draw that circle, we need to use another function. Okay, so let's go to script one more time, and let's go to bottom. Over here we have to use this on draw gizmo selected, and okay, and this function over here, this function over here will draw the circle what we want to draw. Okay, make sure you typing as the name as I did over here, else it will not gonna work. Okay, to draw the circle we have to use gizmos dot draw. Okay, draw wire sphere function, and this function over here, as a first argument, it will take the point from where you want to draw that circle, and the second thing, it will take the radius of that circle. So let's pass our attack point. We know, okay, attack point dot position, and the second thing, attack radius. Okay, and close that off with semicolon. But the problem is that this function over here will give us false if we haven't dragged this attack point to this attack point slot in the inspector underneath our player script. Okay, make sure, so this field over here will be empty, there is none, but this function over here will still try to find that attack point position. As you can see, gizmos dot draw where attack point dot position, so this function will still try to find that point and will draw the circle. But we do know if we haven't dragged the attack point to attack point slot, that field will be empty, so this function will not get that point which is the attack point. So that's why this function will give us or throw us an error. So before we draw the circle, make sure we drag the point out there or not. Okay, so before we draw the circle, we will check. Okay, so if attack point if it's equals to null. Okay, sorry, null, make these curly brackets. So basically we haven't dragged this is empty, we haven't dragged this attack point to this attack point field. Okay, so this is empty, so basically this means, and if attack point is equals to null, basically means that field is empty. So what we want to do, we want to type return. Basically after return, we know whatever we write, those line of code will not be executed. Okay, so this function will stop running right there. Okay, if we haven't dragged the attack point to attack point slot. Okay, so control S on your keyboard to save your code, and let's move to Unity. So now the circle will be drawn from this attack point. Okay, with specified radius of unit 1, as we specified 1. You can adjust upon it over here, it's totally up to you. Okay, so just wait for to compile, and when it's done, okay, So as you can see, the circle has been drawn, but we have to just adjust this circle according to our attack range, or the attack animation clip. So select the player game object, go to attack, select the attack animation clip. As you can see, the attack we need to adjust a little bit. So let's make this attack radius a little bit down, something like this. Okay, something point 1, point 0.8. Okay, so point 0.8 seems pretty fine. But the problem is that if I select this console and clear this and hit this play button and try to click left mouse button, we playing the attack animation clip, and we created that attack function. Okay, it should print out the name of the game object the circle is collided with, but it will not. Why? So if I, as you can see, we're not able to see the game object name in the console. Okay, we would expect to see that, but we not are not able to see. The problem is that we never calling that function. We made the function over here, as you can see, attack. Okay, attack, but we never calling it. So we also need to call this function. Okay, we need to call this function. So when we will call this function, we will accurately call this function with attack animation. Okay, so if we move to unity and select this player game object and move to this animation tab, select this player attack animation clip. So I want to call this function over here, something like over here. As you can see, this is the perfect time of calling that function, which is attack, and it will print out the name of the game object the circle is colliding with. So what we have to do to call that function, in the left side you can see add event. So just click on it. Okay, so and in the top right corner inspector, as you can see function, it says no function selected. Click on that and go over to player. Okay, player script, then methods basically means functions. Okay, and we created this attack function. Okay, basically we going to this player script. As you can see, by this we going over to we will choose this function, which is this attack one. Okay, so let's do that. So let's go to player script first. Methods basically mean functions. Okay, let's select that attack function, and we know what attack function is doing. It's just printing out the name of the game object in the console. Says the name of the game object console. Okay, so select the console. Okay, and hit this play button and get closer to this enemy game object. Okay, and try to click left mouse button. The name of the game object will be print out in the console enemy. Okay, we should able to see. As you can see, the name of the game object is enemy, so we should expect to see, we would expect to see the name of this enemy should print out over here in the console. Okay, so let's, as you can see, enemy gets print out in the console. Okay, as you can see. So instead of printing out message, what I want to do, if I attack, I just want to destroy this game object. Okay, so let's double click this message or open up that player script. Okay, so instead of printing out message, I want to destroy, or that game object should take damage. For now I will try this destroy. Okay, to destroy that game object, we have to use this function. It's called destroy. As a first argument, you can pass the game object you want to destroy. Okay, so in my case, what the circle, if the circle colliding with that game object, I want to destroy that game object. So we basically need to go over to this hit. Okay, hit dot collider, hit dot collider. Okay, so hit dot transform, or you can say hit dot game object. Okay, and close that off with semicolon. Basically means whatever the circle colliding with that game object. As you can see, hit dot game object basically referencing this enemy game object, whatever the circle collided with that game object. Okay, whatever okay, with colliding with, basically the if the circle colliding with this enemy game object, so hit dot game object basically means this enemy game object. Okay, so control S on your keyboard to save your code, and let's go to unity now. In later tutorial we will make take damage function. Okay, in enemy game object as well as player game object to take damage, and we need to show that up in the UI so we can see how many player or enemy health just left, and if it's reached 0, we need to show some effect. Okay, So now if I hit this play button and just click left mouse button, we playing the attack animation clip, and through that attack animation clip we calling that function which is attack, and we know what we're doing inside that attack function. Okay, so now if I get closer to enemy game object and click left mouse button, as you can see enemy game object get destroyed right away. So I hope you get the idea how you can create attack animation clip, and then you can destroy any game object you want. Okay, so lastly, thanks for watching this video. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Okay, goodbye.